In this video, we're going to look at how to create a 1980s style VHS static look to your videos using LumaFusion. This is a really kind of simple to do. It requires a few steps along the way, but it does look pretty good. Now, there's a couple of things you need to do before you do anything, and that's to download a couple of files. The first file is linked in the description below. This is a sort of VHS static with green screen behind it, which we're going to import later on and put over the top of our video. Now, it's a Dropbox link, so when you open it up, it should come up in the Dropbox app. And when it does, if you just click on the three dots from there, go to export, you can then save this video to your camera roll, ready to export to LumaFusion. Now, the second file you need to download is a typeface. It's kind of like one of those old date and timestamp things you get in the bottom corners of videos. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description below as well, and it is called VCR OSD Mono. Now, when you open this, when you click download, it's a zip file, and iPads can't usually open up zip files. But if you have an app called Audio Share, which I highly recommend because it is great for unzipping files, it will do all that for you. So I'm just going to open it up in Audio Share. And then it asks you if you want to extract the contents of that file, so I'm going to choose yes. And here it is, the file's ready to go. And if I click the share icon just in the bottom right corner, it can then open in LumaFusion. And that will be available for you to use as a typeface for all your titles inside LumaFusion. So there's two things I'm going to do as a first step. The first thing I'm going to do is change the aspect ratio, because, you know, 1980s, we didn't really have the widescreen thing going on. So in the top right corner, I'm going to tap on the settings icon, go to project settings, and from there change the frame aspect to 4:3. So it kind of looks a bit more square now. And then what I'm going to do is put my date and timestamp on. So to do that, in the top left corner, I'm just going to tap there and go to titles and just put over the top a classic main title. I'm going to put that for the full duration of the clip. And I'm going to double tap on that and put in the date. So today's date is the 4th of March. I'll put the year is 1988. And that typeface you imported earlier should be available if you choose the font selection, go straight to the bottom. It should be quite near the bottom. There you go, VCR OSD Mono. And then that's available. I can just move that down there. I'm just going to resize it a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. Take off that shadow as well. There we go. So I'll just come out of that. And here is my video. So I've changed the aspect ratio, I've put a date stamp on it. Now I need to export this out as a single file because there's going to be a few effects we're going to have to apply to everything in one go. So I'm going to tap the share icon in the top right, go to movie and the photos app. I'm just going to save it to camera roll, and I'm going to choose 480p as my export resolution. So now I've re-imported that export back into LumaFusion as a single layer. And now we're going to apply some effects to this one layer. And the first thing I want to do is duplicate this layer and have 3 layers of exactly the same thing on top of each other. So I'm going to choose the toolbox icon just on the right and go to clone. Put that there and do the same thing again. There we go. So we've got 3 layers exactly the same. Now I'm just going to mess around with the top 2 layers. So on the top layer, I'm going to double tap on that. And if you look sort of at the bottom, just off center, we've got this icon here for color and effects. And I'm going to make this a green layer. There's 2 things I'm going to do now. I'm going to go back to, in the bottom left, I've got the frame and fit. I'm going to resize it slightly. I'm going to make it slightly bigger. And I'm also going to change the blending. Make it slightly see-through. I'm going to do the same with the middle layer as well. Double tap on it. Go to color and effects. I'm going to find a blue looking layer like so. In the bottom left, back to frame and fit. Resize. And reduce the opacity. Now, the reason we're doing this well, there's two reasons really. We want to lose some of the definition on the edges because obviously we weren't dealing with crisp HD back in the 80s, but also it drains out some of the colour, so it kind of makes it look dated already. So there we go, there's my clip. The edges aren't quite so sharp now, and the colour's not so much there anymore. So now we need to export this again back into a single layer. So I'm going to go to the share icon, movie and photos app, exactly the same as before. So now I've re-imported that export back into LumaFusion, and I've also put the VHS static from the file that I shared with you over the top. Now at the moment all you can see is green, and we're going to make use of LumaFusion's new keying feature to get rid of the green but still see some of those static lines. So I'll just play it for you so you can see what it looks like. So you can see the sort of staticky white lines coming through, but we want to see our picture from behind it. So what I'm going to do is double tap on that top layer, the green screen, go back to colour and effects at the bottom, and if you look at the top right, there's an icon that was introduced a couple of versions ago. This is for keying, this is for removing green or blue screen from like graphic videos and titles and so on, or if you filmed in green screen. So I want to tap on that and choose green screen key. Now as you can see, the green's disappeared, but what you'll probably find is so have quite a lot of the lines that we wanted to keep. So at the moment it just looks exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at the settings for this, the hue range, saturation range and brightness range. I'm going to take the hue range all the way to the beginning. As you can see, as we go to one extreme, all the green's back again. So I want to gradually slide that up to the point where we can see most of the image, but some of the lines. I'm going to do exactly the same for saturation range. I want to see some of those lines coming through, not quite everything. So there we go. So now I'm going to press play, and we can see our static coming through. The trouble is our static's green and we want to get rid of the green, so we're going to change the colour of this layer as well. So at the top we have that paint palette looking thing, and I'm going to choose Noir Night. And what that does now is kind of grayscales out all that static. And if I press play, what we have now is our VHS static retro looking video. And if that's a bit too much for you, what you can also do is adjust the opacity of it. Double tap on the layer, go to blending, just bring that down a little bit, and there we have it. Here's our VHS static video, filmed in 2018 and taken back 30 years. If you found this video useful, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more LumaFusion tutorials.